Hello, welcome to this playthrough of Elden Ring, where I will be in the co-pilot seat and Branwell will be driving. This is a lore playthrough, and in every video there will be spoilers because this is intended as a vehicle for Branwen to explain her theories on the lore of the setting. So if you'd rather develop your own theories without being influenced by other people's, or don't want to be surprised on some of the deep lore of the game, this is not a straight playthrough of just playing gameplay focused. This is a lore focused playthrough. So you might want to give this a pass if you want to avoid big spoilers. With that said, I hope you enjoy the video. And we're back.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm here with Thrith. I'm Bremen.
Hi. I You already introduced me, so yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, not for this video. We just switched.
Yeah, it was just got threw me off a little bit because you said I'm here with Thrift, and that's usually when I say hi. and, then you,
Oh, yeah,
and then you said I'm Brent.
yeah, yeah. I'm tired and distracted.
I,
Hello,
I
everyone.
think we both are a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So we were talking about Glowmite Queen defeated by Malekith, Rune of Death stolen, Marika. Um, Ranni puts pieces of the Rune of Death into the Black Knives so that they can assassinate Godwyn the Golden. When they do that, Ranni finagles it so that her body is destroyed, but her soul isn't. But Godwyn's soul is destroyed, but his body isn't.
Right. And the reverse is Ronnie with her body destroyed, but her soul is free roaming.
Is free roaming, yes, and got put into a doll. And this is Ranni's body.
Oh, so you were thinking that this was on the moon. So we're on the moon right now?
Nope. No, Ranni's great rune is she discarded on the moon.
Got it. Okay.
Um, her body is not part of the great rune. The great rune is its own thing. It's its own. It's a different thing. They're not like inside the demigods. Are you getting me?
Yes, I am. I was muted. Sorry.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. Yes, but when Ranni did the when Ranni did two half murders, um, she
That's a
see you
phrase.
can see the yeah you can see the half rune on her back.
Right, and it looks a little bit like the Finger Slayer blade.
Yeah, or the uh, it's they call it the half wheel of the centipede. The full wheel uh, is a thing that we'll get later. But yeah, we can also see that you can see a little bit of red around Rani's head there.
So, like
That's
remnants of red hair?
yes. Um, we can see a few remnants of her clothes. She's wearing bracelets. Her feet are completely gone. Um, we can. It's very hard to get a good angle without like using a cheat engine. But yeah, this is. We can also tell that she was very tall.
Yep.
Like, yeah. And then we pick up the Curse Mark of Death and the Stargazer Heirloom. So the Curse Mark of Death, carved into the discarded flesh of Ranni the Rich, which also known as the half-wheel wound of the centipede, um, carved at the moment of death of the first demigod, which should have taken the shape of a circle. However, two demigods perished at the same time, breaking the curse mark into two half wheels. Ranni was the first of the demigods whose flesh perished, while the Prince of Death perished in soul alone. And then the Stargazer heirloom, the young astrologer gazed at the night sky as she walked. She had always chased the stars every step of her journey. Then she met the full moon, and in time, the astrologer became a queen. So that is a reference to Renala, Rani's mother. So yeah, so Renala, we know Renala was an astrologer.
Right. She's the astrologer,
But
queen, sorcerer lady.
yeah, but that also makes Renala super old. Like she's immortal, sort of old
Yeah.
somehow.
Yeah.
Um, which is interesting. So one of the things that like puzzled me for a while. If we go and take a look at Renala for a moment, you remember her like proportions,
Yeah, she's quite tall,
Ting,
very godlike.
Tingle, yeah. Um, but also like shoulders, posture, really long, thin arms, really long, thin hands.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was just from soft stylization because the player characters also have long, thin arms and legs compared to human. But yeah,
Yes,
they're even
they're
more
even more.
disproportionate. Yeah.
Yeah. No, like looking at this, it's the shoulders that get to me because if you look at like where it's hard to tell because the robes are so voluminous, right?
Right. I mean,
Um,
there is I getting shades of the '80s with the really broad shoulder pads.
the
Yeah.
thing is, we know that like they can do better proportions.
Mm-hmm.
So my question has always been, her head is too small for her body.
Yeah.
Let's be real here. So what is happening here? My After reviewing everything that I can about like with all of the lore and everything, I think okay. There's a lot of other I've got a lot of other evidence for this, particularly with other from soft games. I think she is the ultimate grade of Albinoric. Um,
The
I
ult
also think
the
it's
ultimate what of Albinoric?
the ultimate grade, like generation. You know how like Latenna is third generation or whatever, and the other like the froggy one's a second generation
Right, right,
or first generation, and then the males that have their feet slowly disappearing are second generation or whatever. However, I can't remember which generation is which. Um, but and like, but Latenna's fine. Latenna's feet aren't like slowly disappearing. Her limbs aren't fading because they're imperfect creations or anything like that.
right.
I I think that Renala here is a fourth generation, or like the generation after Latenna's that was perfectly made.
Got it. Okay.
Which is why she's immortal. Her feet aren't disappearing, but her proportions are all off because uh, she was made. She wasn't born.
That is an interesting
Um,
dichotomy because sometimes you would think the assumption would be that if somebody is made, that they would make it to a desired proportion. But
You would think so. I think that the way that I don't so I think that the person who made them was a bit slapdash in their aesthetic choices, because considering that the Albinaurics bleed silver and they're made with silver and everything, the most likely person who made the Albinaurics is Seath,
who isn't
um,
human and is a
who isn't
dragon
human.
and has different set of proportional norms.
Yeah, and maybe doesn't care as much.
Right.
She's like, oh yeah, this looks right. Boom, we're done. Now, if we look at her eyes closely, it's hard to see here in the cutscenes. When she's looking at the amber egg, her eyes are golden,
Okay.
but in the fight scene, in the cutscene, you can see her eyes are violet,
Interesting.
which means if I'm going to pick somebody who matches the moniker of Glowmite Queen,
Yeah.
um, I'm probably going to pick Renala here.
So Marika defeated Ranala. Is
No, not okay, so things that we know about Renala and the Glowmite
I
Queen.
may be getting names mixed up because I haven't played the game. Sorry.
No, that's okay. So it was Malekith who defeated
Malekith.
the
Got it.
Glowmite Queen. Yeah, who is Marika's blade,
Got it.
Marika's champion. Um, but we also know that Renala, or rather, the war against Leonia between the forces of the Erd Tree and the forces of Leonia was ended because Radagon married Renala.
Okay. Radigan. Yeah.
Uh,
Go on.
yes. So this doesn't mean that they can't still be the same person, in my opinion. Um, it could be that Malekith defeated Renala,
Right.
and then like Radagon was like, no, don't kill her. Um, she's uh
Special.
I
Whatever.
she's special, she's talented, she's good, like I'm going to apologize for the war and then I'm going to propose.
Got it. Okay.
And he went and did the oath at the oath of the Church of Vows to nullify like the oath at the Church of Vows, like rewinds actions that you have done that you regret. Makes it so that they didn't happen.
Got it. So he's unwinding, starting the war.
Yeah. And then he marries Renala, and they have a bunch of children, including uh, Radan, Rykard, and Ranni, and maybe some others, since there's other soulless demigods, in mausoleums around.
Got it. Okay.
Um, whether or not that's like that they were Renala's children or not, unknown. Um, but then Radagon leaves her to marry Marika and gives her the amber egg, and she's been like this ever since because she's heartbroken.
I see. Hmm.
Now, the thing is, if she was created, like if she's an Albinoric, it could be also that she's broken. Like she's not just broken hearted, she's literally broken because her purpose, her, if she had a purpose, if she was programmed or whatever, like
Right.
she she doesn't know what to do anymore. This is a artificial beings is a recurring concept in FromSoft games before Dark Souls and Demon Souls. So this wouldn't be the first time that a sympathetic AI has been, or a sympathetic artificial being has been in a FromSoft game.
Got it. Yeah. So, like, basically, she had a purpose and wasn't created with ability to self-determine.
Yeah, yeah. So now she's here, but she's still like formidable. She's still a formidable sorceress. Um, Which brings me to the thing that if she is the Glowmite Queen is described as an Empyrean.
Right.
And there are other Empyreans. Ranni was an Empyrean. The reason she discarded her flesh was that she didn't want to be controlled by the two fingers. So, what if Empyreans are just the ultimate form of Albinoric?
That's an interesting thing that all the gods are created.
Or at least all of the ones that can become a god.
Right.
But
Okay.
then what does being a god mean in this world? And that's, that's something for us to discuss
And
as we go through the game.
going to Gwyn and such in Dark Souls, they didn't start out as gods, did they? They kind of took
No,
that power.
Gwyn calling himself the god of sunlight was kind of a lie. Um, he had godlike power because of the Lord Soul,
Got it.
but
Okay.
when you fight him, he's just some dude, like, more powerful dude, but he's just some dude. Um, he's hollowed out like any other undead, and is just like you don't fight him as much as you put him down.
Right. So, like Radon.
Yes. Yeah. So we go into this rise, which had been locked off until now because we're chasing Ranni,
Got it.
and
Okay.
we find her clothes in that chest and a teleporter. How are we doing for time?
We're 17 minutes in on this one.
Awesome.
But that help tip was sudden blood loss.
Yes. Oh, a miniature Ranni.
Interesting.
That's a bit weird. Let's go sit at this grace here and think about this for a moment. People who have played this know exactly where I'm going with this. Talk to miniature Ranni.
Okay, that is not something I would have expected.
Nope. Oh, okay. It's not talking. Nah, it's really not talking.
Oh, a dogged fellow, aren't we? Or is it merely thy habit to talk to dolls? Fine.
Sorry.
I hadn't expected any soul to recognize me in this guise. But now the cat is out the bag, I cannot allow thee thy freedoms. Perform for me a service as recompense. Eliminate the baleful shadows which prowl these lands. The name of Ranni the Witch is already sullied by thee. I will not brook disobedience in this matter. Perform for me a service as recompense. Eliminate the baleful
So now
presence
she's
in
going to
here of our
loop
lord.
until you get the thing done. Okay.
Yeah. So there's a lot of there's a bit of confusion about what she means about the name of Ranni the witch being sullied by us.
That was an interesting phrasing, and I wasn't sure what to think about it because I don't think we've done anything to make her look bad.
Yeah, the only thing, like literally what she's saying there is she is embarrassed about being found in the tiny doll form.
Right, yeah.
Um and like she's like, okay,
The,
you've seen me in this compromised position, like my dignity here is
oh,
compromised.
oh, that's the thing.
Yeah. Um so, you need, like, I'm going to get you this to do this job for me because I'm upset. Uh and yeah, now we can kill that thing. Do I do that now or do I do that off screen? I think I do that off screen. I don't think we're going to waste time.
Is that a dragon?
The thing hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah, I'm not
Uh,
very getting very good look. Okay, that is some sort of weird fungus demon thing.
yeah. Okay, so that is one of the meteor beings. They fall from space.
Oh, so it's an alien.
It it's an alien. It's a Cthulhu alien. The funny thing is when you ask, like, is that a dragon? Um, there is a possibility that they can develop into a dragon, and I have reasons for that if you look at the model. And you look at how From Software have depicted some of the dragons in the past.
Got it.
Um,
Also, this
so,
this game is suddenly off my sister's list, but not that she'd ever play games like this anyway.
oh, what's the
She's
what's the thing?
ants.
Oh, right. Yeah. No, there's so in one of the Kingsfield games, in uh they're like, oh yeah, if you want to go to the underworld, watch out for termites. So yeah, giant termites.
Okay, okay, weird.
Um yeah, so like if anyone's wondering, like, why do the enemy types in this game seem so random and everything? That's why. It's because, we're we're looking at a build up of,
Of
god,
a bestiary
half a
over
dozen of over a dozen games.
right. The Kingsfield games, which I believe I don't know how many there are. You mentioned there's a
Four.
fourth. There's a fourth.
There are four main Kingsfield games and two that were called addendums.
So
Uh,
six total,
yeah,
plus the
yeah.
three Dark Souls, plus.
Three Dark Souls plus Demon Souls, two in the Evergrey series, two in the Lost Kingdom series, three in the Echo Knight series, which was a modern game, but still probably connected. Um, two in the Shadow Tower series, and that's all I can remember at the moment.
Wow.
I have been looking through a lot of playthroughs of very old games that were not great when they came out.
I've seen some
Which
minor
is,
footage of Kingsfield. It's very blocky and.
well, yeah, because it was 96. Like, Kingsfield's old.
Yeah, but I mean, like Ultima Underworld is the same age and it holds up better, I think, if I remember correctly.
Mm,
I've only seen a couple frames here and there on a list video, so I can't say I'm an unbiased view.
yeah. Anyway, we can talk to Ranni here again because she feels Gabby apparently.
Okay, let's.
Speak of the past a while. I was
Sorry.
once
No worries.
of the demigods. Only I, Mikola, and Melania could claim that title. Each of us was chosen by our own two fingers as a candidate to succeed Queen Marika, to become the new god of the coming age, which is when I received Blythe, in the form of a vassal tailored for an Empyrean. But I would not acquiesce to the two fingers. I stole the rune of death, slew mine own Empyrean flesh, casting it away. I would not be controlled by that thing. The two fingers and I have been cursing each other ever since, and the baleful shadows are their assassins.
Hmm.
Okay, we're
You
at.
were saying we need to switch videos?
Yep, and yep, that seems to be a good time. Give me a moment.
Awesome.